Good morning, sir. We are team name Famous Five. So we are from College XIMB. Should I introduce my team members as well, sir? So he is Anvesh Panda. We have here Shomojit Shah, myself Shuchishmita Sengupta, my teammate Surya M, and my fellow teammate Ashish Kumar Das. So good morning, everyone. Today we are here to share our insights on how to implement diversity, equity, and inclusivity in leadership positions in an organization. So let's delve into the first step, choosing our organization. Let's meet Parameter Software Limited. So it is basically a Bhubaneshwar-based 33-year-old company which majorly operates in sectors like energy and renewable energy, provides IT and IT-enabled solutions, and also management advisory solutions. Now, let's look at the demographic profile of our company. In their advisory board, these are the roles that are mentioned here. As we can see, there's a fair representation of women and men, 50-50. But in the leadership position, there's mostly just men, the MD and the director. There's just representation of men. Some of the policies that governs this organization is the Safe Workplace Policy, the POSH policy, the Safe Environment Policy, and Corporate Citizenry Policy. Let's investigate the diversities that are present in PSPL currently. So what they're trying to do is they predominantly implement D&I initiatives in the lower management level. That's how they believe they should start in order to hike up to the senior management level. And also, they are particularly focusing on onboarding PWD candidates as of now. They also focus on social and religious minorities. Other than that, there's a fair representation of most age groups in the senior management level, the age range being 35 to 56, average being 45. But there is a lack there of neurodiverse people in the organization, and there's a lack of regional diversity. From a client perspective or point of view, they do believe it is going to have a positive impact on the perception of the organization and the acceptance of the organization, because it is going to position them as a very ethical brand, which will in turn have a positive effect on their revenue, although it is a bit harder to quantify at the moment for them. Some small initiatives that they take is like celebrating Eid and other cultural festivals and celebrating International Women's Day, Men's Day in order to have employees feel like they belong to the organization or inclusive in the organization. Now I'll be handing it over to my teammate Shomojit.
So I'll be talking about the DI problems that are faced by PSPL. So it starts off with the lack of regional and neurodiversity. Since they are only operational in Odisha, they do not have much of a scope of regional diversity over here. And also they did try to onboard a neurodivergent individual, but they failed to make him productive. Secondly, the company is fairly new, and owing to its small size, they lack a capacity of practicing extensive D&I initiatives. Thirdly, the same thing comes from again the company size, and also they lack a dedicated team to D&I initiatives implementation. So what happens is that they lack a team that can formulate the policies for such. And finally, since there is no such team, demonstrating and quantifying the return on investment for all the D&I programs they carry out is very difficult for them. Additionally, there are some limitations that we devised. Were first is the promotional diversity problem, wherein we saw that in the leadership role, there are only men over there, so they lack a gender diversity over there. Secondly, there is inadequate training where proper sensitivity training is not provided, which leads to the third problem, that is a lack of understanding of the benefits. And finally, it leads to unconscious biases creeping in. And here we can see that it provides us with a survey on why D&I initiatives fail that was conducted in 2021 that carried out a survey on various employees of various organizations, wherein according to 35% of the employees, they stated that due to the lack of metrics of insufficient D&I, the D&I initiatives that are implemented in the organization fail. So I'll be handing it over to Anvesh now.
So we know that a diverse team is very powerful, but is the organization leveraging their power? So for that we did a need analysis, and we segregated it into three parts. Those are organizational needs, operational needs, and personal needs. When we researched about the organization, we found that they lack diversity in the leadership position, and there is a disparity in the recruitment process. We talked to the HR team and we found that although they have some set targets to achieve certain DI initiatives and implement that, but their practices are very inconsistent because of lack of policies. And thirdly, when we interacted with the employees of the organization, we found that they lack in DI training and mentorship programs. So we did another research about and got some data from the International Labour Organization that how different organizations link their DI initiative with their productivity, and we found that 57.4% of the organization agreed that having a DI initiative that will help them in better business outcomes, and 60.2% of the organization agreed that it improves their profitability and productivity.
So now let's talk about the most important part of proposing solutions is to benchmark them with organizations that are currently implementing them. So Google does something called tailored mentorship programs, where people who have had similar experience in a similar field, they coach people to increase the number of employees in that particular role. Tailored mentorship, as we said. Facebook gives excellent on-site childcare solutions and parental leaves. That is something we believe is a very simple initiative that most organizations can implement. Not just IBM, many companies are investing and looking forward to employee resource groups. They have proven to be very successful. IBM alone has more than 80 employee-led resource groups. They basically foster a sense of belonging and supportiveness to the employees with similar needs. Microsoft also has mandated unconscious bias training, so has so many other organizations. It helps them educate people about the hidden prejudices that stay in the organization and lead to these. JP Morgan Chase also does disability awareness in order to educate people about the different disabilities that are present in there and how to behave and interact with them accordingly. Accenture also does skills to succeed, where they pick up particular minorities, in this case disabilities, and they provide them with the skills in order to excel in their roles. Now let's talk about some tailored solutions for this particular company. In the beginning, they had tried to do flexible work arrangements, but they felt like it was not productive. We do feel that they should give considerable thought to this initiative because providing remote work options or modified work schedule or flexible options would open them to a wide array and a diverse pool of talent catering to each diversity need particularly. It is very quintessential to have a dedicated DE&I team in order to leverage their expertise, their focus, or even have them outsource it to other agencies for recruitment. And it is important that people make technology accessible, offering alternative formats for applications such as video interviews or recorded applications, or even investing in assistive services such as screen readers and captioning software for people with vision and hearing impairments can be very helpful for them. Employee resource groups, as I have already covered, how they can foster a sense of belonging. Creating accessible workplace is a basic thing that they need to do. It needs to be physically accessible, whether it be announcement-led elevators, ergonomic workstations, ramps, accessible restrooms, etc. It is really important that whatever initiatives we are proposing, we measure their impact, right? So they do not have any D&I metrics present. That is something they need to work on, assign relevant metrics to each of the solutions. It is important to prioritize D&I training because it educates people about the inequalities and biases that are present in the organization and how to go about it. They also do not have a grievance management machinery at the moment, since they are fairly new. So they need to do that in order to make the employees or people with disabilities or different needs feel heard.
So, as we're talking about diversity, let's delve into a very niche arena, that is differently able people and the issues that are faced by them. So the first thing is the traditional interviews that are carried on these days, they do not really accommodate the neurodivergent individuals. So for example, written interviews or sign language interpreters are often not provided. So that creates a communication barrier between the interviewer and the neurodivergent interviewee. Then there is use of complex jargon in the interviews, which can be very difficult for individuals with cognitive disabilities to interpret. And for job ads that lack screen reader compatibility, it is very difficult for the visually impaired crowd to go forward with it and access that thing. So some custom solutions that we tailored for these issues over here was the first, utilizing assistive technology like JAWS, Job Access with Speech, Dragon Naturally Speaking, which would provide captioning services for video interviews, which would like read out the screen and help them apply for those jobs. Secondly, there should be workshops that are conducted which would simulate the disabilities, like for example, wearing a blindfold, so that you can put yourself in your shoes and understand their problem, because empathy is where the solution comes from. Thirdly, there should be workplace accommodations over here, wherein adjustable desks for wheelchair users can be provided, special software for dyslexic users can be provided.
Okay, so now as we saw about the solutions that we have, now we have to have a particular roadmap how we are going to implement it and have those candidates inside the organization. For this, we designed a framework known as the PROUD framework. PROUD stands for placement, recruitment, onboarding, understanding, and development. Further, I would like to elaborate each part of it. First come placement. Placement is a very strategic approach for differentiating different roles based on their needs and giving opportunity to the candidates based on their specific abilities so that they can perform their best in it. After that comes recruitment. To have a diverse and integrated team, recruitment is the first process. For this, we make a formal policies which give equal opportunities to each and every candidates without any discrimination regarding recruitment, promotions, trainings, and development needs. Third comes the onboarding. As we have talked in the solution, onboarding, we don't want the candidates only to step inside the door, but also to gel up in the organization and feel that it is their own home, for which we need to have workplace adjustment, infrastructural accessibilities, and assistive devices. The fourth is the understanding. Now, as they are inside our organization, it is important for them to understand us and we to understand them, for which we conduct supported induction based on the specific need of each and every individual, with a proper grievance management system where they can feel free to communicate, say their problems, and each and every grievance should be responded with utter respect and faithfully. In a grievance management system, we don't promote anonymity because anonymity can cause a lot of problem, but we mostly focus on psychological safety. We want them to feel safe with while telling their grievances, as well as promote psychological safety training to other employees so that they can make them feel safe. And the fifth one is development. Development, when after they are in the organization and start working on it, we want them and we want to have a proper performance management system where we see their performance and provide them with all the technologies and new skill set that they require, and also ensure that all the colleagues are also trained well so that they can help them in achieving their goals.
So I'm going to share a plan how we are going to implement DI at parameter softwares. So let's start with a number. Like we have studied the lower management. At the lower management, there are 30% employees are male and 70% employees are female, which is quite good. And if we go higher up and look at the upper management, then there is a gap which needs to be addressed. So the global gender gap report says, despite of lot of efforts on diversity in education, only 32% of the women at the leadership position. And there is a report from McKinsey which says that the companies with diverse top management attracts more women. And so what are the solutions? We came up with different solutions, like we have segregated it into two parts. One is pre-boarding and another one is onboarding. In the pre-boarding phase, we are trying to improve the gender inclusive job description. Like we will be making the language more gender neutral, and so that every applicant will be feeling valued. And next, diverse interview panel. How the diverse interview panel is going to help? So diverse interview panel will maximize the chances of hiring the minorities, and targeted communication with the women before onboarding. There should be clear communication with the women. There needs to be catered at the workplace so that the retention rate will be higher. And the most important thing, that is buddy system. We will be implementing buddy system over there. So we will be pairing one woman with another woman so that they will get morally and they can reach out to them for any support. And in the onboarding phase, we'll be welcoming our new female hires with some social inclusive events, and we'll be implementing some friendly, family-friendly policies for to keep eye on work-life balance, so that which is very important for a woman, and encouraging participation in ARGs. Like it will create a space for the open connection and peer support. We need to give unconscious bias training to managers and leaders. So I'm going to explain how it is implementing DEI is going to impact on the revenue. We have collected different insightful data from different resources, and made it a bar graph over here and represented over it. So the companies with diverse leadership team increases their revenue by 19%. And this is the study by BCG group, and we have made a conservative estimate that it will make the 15% revenue increase, and 67% of the job seekers consider a company with diversity. That it is a report from Glassdoor, and it attracts top talent and making the customer relationship stronger, and which will the conservative estimate is 20% increase in revenue. And there is a study from Edelman that 64% of the consumer consider brand social positions, and they attract towards the brand for the social value, and it will increase the revenue by 10%. And there are some steps. So how we can leverage these advantages, like from diverse recruitment, inclusive culture, and unconscious bias training. What we will be getting? We can make our product development side more strong, and we can get more perspective on the table. The decision making will be stronger, and the employee retention will be more, and the productivity will be stronger, which will affect the increase in revenue.
There is a fair representation in the age group of an organization. So the main challenge for that is the attracting and retaining the diverse pool. So for that, we should focus on the culture and the total rewards of the organization. To focus on those two, we should know the need of the different generation. So we floated a Google form as a primary research, and we got 77 response from different generation. From that, we came to know that Gen X gives importance to medical benefits and retirement benefits, and millennials give importance to L&D opportunities and parental benefits, and Gen Z gives importance to flexible time off and personalized professional development. On this priority, we came up with a solution, first four solution: multimode communication, where there is a Slack and Yammer and other social collective collaboration network for effective information. Then mentorship program, where the senior employee will be mentoring the junior employee and give wisdom for the new initiative. Third is reverse mentoring, where junior employee will mentor the senior employee for new initiative or the technologies. Third is flexible rewards and benefit system, which is also called as personalized total rewards. For example, SAP is using a personalized total rewards initiative as FixBen, where they have 25 plus basket benefits where employee can choose from anything. On that basis, they got a brand, employer brand in 2022, which will help them to attract the diverse pool. So on this basis, attracting a diverse pool and retaining them helps more in the organization by using a personalized total rewards.
So now that we have proposed all the solutions, the final most important step is to devise some metrics so that we can measure the impact and the success rate of these solutions that we gave. So firstly, obviously, is the workforce demographics, wherein the demographics of the entire workforce is assessed and any diversity gaps is identified and addressed accordingly. Second is the ERG participation and engagement score, wherein the employee resource group that we just spoke about, the success rate of those is measured through various factors like participation of the diverse individuals in the events, their contribution to various initiatives, and etc. Third is the accessibility index, wherein the physical accessibility of the workspace is measured by conducting like regular audits, wherein the accessible restrooms, ergonomic workstations, and wheelchairs are audited and checked if they are present in the organization. Fourth is the ENPS, Employee Net Promoter Score, wherein the employee engagement is measured and how many times the organization is being referred to by the diverse individual in question to other candidates. Fifth is pay equity, wherein equal pay for equal work should be there, irrespective of the demography and background, and certain audits should be conducted for that too. And finally, the recruitment metrics, wherein the conversion rate of employees through the interview methods, specific special interview methods that we just spoke about, is measured. Now, that would be all from our side. These are some references that we refer to for our research. So, thank you, everyone. That will be all.